So obviously, Rye, you're going to the draft this year.
Yeah.
This week, actually, Las Vegas, and ideally, this is what you're looking for. It's an NHL contract. You ever seen one of those before?
No, I haven't.
I don't think I've read it before, but it was signed by Pat Quinn, witnessed by my dad, and I think I made a whole total of, I think, $30,000 deposit or down payment, whatever it's called, signing bonus, and maybe $100,000 a year. Some team pictures. That's my NHL jersey. You recognize this goalie here?
Yeah.
That's the night that he passed a guy named Terry Sawchuk for career wins in the history of the NHL. So at that time, he had third place in the history of the NHL for career wins. Some of his jerseys, but that one jersey way up there, the college hockey one, it's got a big cut up the middle of it.
Yeah.
Because I got a shot that stuck in my helmet through a screen, knocked unconscious. So when you go to the hospital, they take the scissors, cut everything right off you.
No way.
Plop it over. That was on the ground. We found it. This is a little autograph picture Eddie gave me. I never asked for autographs because we're friends. Like, it's not like me asking you for an autograph. And the other thing that I show, like that night he had 448 wins, which passed people. But with his Warwick helmet, I don't know if you knew this, but in the feathers, it spells out the word eagle, E-A-G-L-E.
I never saw that.
People didn't realize that. And then BW stands for Bishop, is the guy that painted his helmet, and Warwick was the helmet.
Yeah, that's neat.
And then a couple other things. Obviously, back in the day, the first guy to sponsor me was Mike Vaughn, so I wore all his stuff.
Yeah.
Now I restore old Tonkas, because I'm an old grandpa now. And could you believe these guys would wear those masks in the NHL back in the day?
That's crazy.
No padding.
Yeah.
This guy with the stitches, do you know who that was? This is a test, right? Come on.
Do you play for Boston?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Ryan. You want to be an NHL goalie, you got to know a Hall of... That's Jerry Cheevers.
Yeah. I don't know that.
John Davidson. If you get this one wrong, you have to hand in your goalie card. It's Grant Fuhr. And that was mine. And then this was a goalie from Toronto Maple Leafs named Mike Palmatier. All right, Ryan. Besides restoring Tonkas, I restore old toys for the grandkids, all the old Evel Knievel stuff. Interesting, yeah, not really. Look at that get-up. Back when I played college hockey, that's me, against Michigan State. And some of my goalies from the NHL that I trained. Look at Vesa Toskala. He didn't speak much English. He said, "Thanks for the all help." And Telquist was a great kid. Super nice to my wife around the house. Actually bought us some nice gifts. It's my old junior B in Strathroy. Look at that gear. Straight stick, no rocker heel. And coach, this little guy named Jeff Lurg, he won a national championship at Michigan State. He runs Future Pro USA now. And 5'5", he could hang from the crossbar and his legs would swing like that. He'd hook his arms up like that. In between stoppages, he wasn't even. And then a buddy of mine, Greg Millen, he does Hockey Night in Canada. He's a TV guy. And Ray Croft, he was a big guy you needed to pump up, like keep his confidence up. Because even in the NHL, you think all the guys up there supremely confident all the time and everything's just roses, but it's not always like that. And then up here, that's Jack Campbell back when he was playing in the World Juniors when he was good.
Yeah.
That's one of the first times I worked with Eddie back in the day. Good buddy of mine, Mitch Korn, coaches in the NHL for the Islanders now. And then Pogie was a nice kid, but he had a lot of pressure put on him early. And then back in the day when I invented the white pucks, clear pucks, and mini pucks, and what a filthy stance that is.
Yeah.
We did the opposite back in the day, Rye. We had negative thigh rises. Those came from the factory and the thigh rises were trimmed down.
Yeah.
Because when you filled the 5-hole back in the day, you pinched your knees together. You didn't use like the overlap. Yeah. So we lost our flair when you butterflied. And if you look at the glove, cut all the padding off the back, shorten the, that was basically just no foam, just open back of the hand. The glove was super light, super risky, but not the best thing. Now to the cars and goalie segment. I always wanted to play in the NHL Rye so I could afford Corvettes, collect Corvettes. And this is called a Ford GT. And this was built in 05 and 06 to sort of celebrate the original Ford GT, which won the big race called Le Mans, where they beat Ferraris. Enzo Ferrari kicked all their butts. Ford made this, and this is what it is. So a couple cool things about it. You could get 4 options on it. You could get the stripes.
Yeah.
You get the upgraded wheels. You could get the brake calipers painted. And inside, you could get the Macintosh stereo. And these doors open pretty cool. You have to open them all the way up because a lot of people will get out, stand up, and bang their head on it. And I will remind you today when we go for a little rip to tuck your head down, and you'll still probably forget and stand up and hit it. Now, this is the moneymaker part of this thing. So with the engine in the back, car handles way differently. Massive tires for grip, massive horsepower, and this is the only car that Ford ever made that's never depreciated. So most new cars, when you buy them, they go down in value immediately. Which brings me to the topic of your NHL signing bonus, Rye. You're going to be drafted. You're going to get a nice big healthy bonus. Do not go out and buy a big exotic car. Buy a nice pickup truck, or maybe get a local company, whatever town you're in, sponsor. Like when Trevor Linden was playing for the Canucks, there was a Chevy dealership there called Duick-on-Marine, and every month he would have a different new pickup truck to drive. They would let him drive, and he didn't have to spend any of his own money on it. But don't make the tragic mistake of a young NHL player signing a big contract and having to go get a Bugatti or something stupid like this. Save your money. You're going to need it when you're an old piece of crap like me. Now, we can talk about the inside in a little bit, but this is why this car is no good for you and your goalie equipment. Because these things don't come with a trunk. They come with a frunk. And that's all you got. Yeah. You could put a cheese sandwich in there, file folder, who knows, that's it. But no goalie pads, no goalie sticks.
Maybe a blocker.
So maybe after you've played in the NHL and you become a Hall of Famer, you can get a whole bunch of these things. Well, let's head out there for a ride and see what this does. All right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Is it worth it?
I don't know, you're going to tell me. The reason why it is worth it, Rye, is because this car goes up in value all the time. Yeah. It never goes down in value. So it's like a mutual fund. Yeah. It's a good investment.
Were you always a car guy?
Always. Yeah. I was a car guy before I was a goalie. I always loved cars. My dad was a mechanic. And I love Corvettes. I got a relative that's in the Corvette Hall of Fame. He designed the first 10 years of the Corvette. And then I wanted to play in the NHL so I could afford cars. Like, people have different reasons why they want to be in the NHL, right? You know, whether they want money, they want fame, they want girls, hockey cards, they love it, whatever. But there's many reasons why they do that. That's why you drive a Ford GT.
What was your first car?
It was a 67 Mustang.
Your first car?
Yeah.
Mustang?
When I was in high school, it was a coupe, blue coupe, and cut grass every summer to buy that thing, and just absolutely loved it. Thought I was the sweetest guy alive. But when you save up money for your own car, you treat it pretty nice, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, besides talking about cars, my love for the car, that's what motivated me. That's what made me want to work hard when I was, you know, at practice, dry land, sprinting up and down hills and all that stuff. And that's what got me to the NHL, because I knew I could get Corvettes.
Yeah.
And the reason I wanted to bring you out today, besides talking about cars, is you're having something big happen. This week, what are you doing?
Going to the draft.
Going to the draft in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Now, I mentioned to your dad that I've spoken, 5 NHL teams have contacted me directly about you. And I've told them you're a bag of hammers and a piece of poop. But actually, I said, you're a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
Great goalie. I don't know about the character and work ethic, but he's a good goalie. Actually, no, I pumped your tires pretty good. So getting drafted, as you know, and we've talked for years, it's just first step. Just means that's the team that owns you. And the work really actually starts. That's not the end of the road. That's the start of the work.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, you know, we've talked about this before, but I wanted to go through a list of things that I want you to be mindful that the NHL management loves to see out of their professional athletes and their goalies. First thing is time. The bus leaves when the bus leaves. The plane leaves when the plane leaves. So be like a double alarm clock guy. So when you're in the hotel, if your phone dies, you've got the hotel calling, your roommate calling, 2-3 ways so you make sure you don't late. Because when you're late, it sends a message to them. Even if it's not your fault, they don't care. You just have to be on time. So that's the first thing. As a pro, be early. Get there early, take care of your business. The second thing for a rookie is you want to make sure you're the first kid on the ice, last kid off the ice, and rookies always stay for 30 minutes anyways.
Yeah.
Make sure even after the rookies stay out for their little extra work, you stay a little bit extra even beyond that, so you're always the last guy off even after the rookies. And in the NHL, rookies help with the bags, help pick up pucks at the end of practice, treat everybody around the team like they're your mom and dad. Treat everybody with respect. And you're a quality character kid. Your parents have raised you right, so I have no doubt about that. And the one guy that's on the team that you got to be very attentive to is the equipment manager. And the reason I bring that up is they're almost like management. The general managers, they talk to the equipment managers because they're there all the time. They see how the kids on the team truly are when the camera's not on, when the coach isn't around. And their evaluation of you, if they know you help them, you're polite to them, you don't alpha dog them, treat them with respect, that'll get back to management and they'll know what type of a character you are. So always treat the equipment manager with respect. Your greatest ability is your availability. And as a pro, if you tug a groin, blow your knee, do whatever, you're going to get hurt at times. Everybody gets hurt, but you need to minimize the preventable ones. Take care of your body on your cool down. You're stretching after your workouts. Get there super early. Prepare your body properly. Eat properly. Because if you're out of the lineup because of a groin issue or something going on with that, they're going to give the job to the next kid. And if he comes in and plays great, now all of a sudden he's Stuart Skinner and you're Jack Campbell, waived. So you don't open the door for somebody to come in on a preventable injury. And when it comes to getting hurt, if they set up a training table or a schedule with rehab, never blow that off. Always show up for that. It goes without saying about curfews and stuff. Just be professional. Just don't give them a reason.
Yeah.
Just do not give them a reason. Now, when it comes to playing time, you know, you've played AAA, you've played starting in the OHL as a 16-year-old, 30, 40 games, and your second year awesome, and you're likely going to be on the World Junior team with Carter George next year. You've been on all these teams and you got to play a lot, but when you get to the pros, they really don't give a crap about what you did. And that's what I said to Hunter Haight today. All those guys in the pros have won Memorial Cups, World Juniors, everything else. When you get there in the American League, none of those guys give a crap that you won that. You're just like them. So playing time is just going to be basically who's helping the coach win. And you win, you stay in. You don't win, you come on Grand Bend. You've been to Grand Bend before?
No, I haven't.
What?
No.
It's like mini Fort Lauderdale.
I don't know what that is either.
That's a beach in Florida with 8,000
Hardly.
bikinis and young people. Some other things, you've obviously started getting media when you're in the OHL and doing things you've done. You've got lots of media. You've even got a Gatorade commercial.
Yeah.
By the way, was that fun shooting that or what?
Yeah, it was super cool.
And how long did it take to shoot that one big glove save that's on there?
It was like an hour. I did it like probably 200 times easily.
So now your glove's fixed. That's good.
Yeah, there you
I thought maybe they CGI'd in that puck.
go. No.
So when it comes to the media, you got to be very careful with what you say to them after the games. I don't like guys that are vanilla and just say cliches. So I'd like you to be the type of kid that does interviews, says insightful things, but never critical of your teammates, coaches, goalie partner.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you lose a game, it's like, you know, I needed to be better. And Skinner's a great example. Like, he takes ownership for that, still retains his confidence, doesn't beat the crap out of himself in the media saying, oh, I'm terrible, whatever. It's just like, yeah, you know, today I didn't have it. You know, that second goal I let out a bad rebound. I'm going to work on that tomorrow with my goalie coach, and we're going to get back in there. So be positive, gregarious, outgoing on the media. Try to avoid cliches, and never throw teammates, coaches, anybody under the bus, referees.
Yeah.
Take ownership for it, but don't beat yourself up in the media. And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is how to manage success. I've coached a lot of goalies over the year, Rye. You know the ones I've coached. You know the ones like Swayman that's in the NHL, Logan Thompson, Belfour, all these guys. I've seen Carey Price, and you've seen me mention this before. You remind me of him in so many ways. And I'm not trying to put pressure on you saying that you're going to be the next Carey Price, but you have that level of ability in the OHL. Now, if you can parlay that into what he did in the NHL, it's going to be slowing down the explosiveness until the times you actually need it, and just getting a little more poise and consistency of control. Your explosive save, your highlight saves, geez, I think once a week there was an OHL Loblaw save of the week by Ryerson Leenders. Like that went on. You can make that great save. But what's going to let you stay in the NHL and have a long career, potentially Hall of Fame career, is consistency. Making the saves you have to, making the explosive saves when needed, and just being a consistent guy. And that comes back to the preparation habits that you've been very mindful of your whole career. A couple other things about being a pro. In the dressing room, there's normally something called the clips. And what that is the team personnel will look through all the papers. And in Toronto, there was like 8 or 10 newspapers.
Yeah.
Online stuff printed out from TSN or Sports Channel. If you're slumping, it'll all be in the media. And they print those off in photocopied packages, staple them together, and sit them on that tape table. And if you start reading newspaper clippings every day before practice, like say you're playing great and they're telling you how awesome you are, that can create a problem because you think you're sweet. And likewise, some of these reporters that, you know, probably couldn't skate to stand up to save their life, saying the goaltending's letting down the Detroit Red Wings if that's the team you're on. My advice is don't read those clips. Nobody needs to know about it. And don't worry about your stats. Stay with what you've been doing to make yourself successful with Mississauga. Worry about the present, worry about the next puck, and that's all you need to worry about. Just read and react.
Press as many people as I can. And,
Just keep an even keel. Now, whether you get drafted in the first round or the 7th round, you will get drafted somewhere. And it doesn't mean anything. If you got drafted first round, I tell you the same stuff as if you got drafted 7th round.
Yeah.
I've coached kids that have been high round draft picks that didn't pan out, and late round picks that have, and some that haven't even been drafted. I wasn't even drafted in the OHL, and I ended up, you know, doing okay. So just go there, enjoy the experience, soak it in. The thing about that draft that I can tell you from when I was drafted to the day you die, Ryerson, you'll be 85 years old, and you're never going to forget what happens this weekend.
Yeah.
There's other things you'll forget, like your kid's first dance recital, the first time you told your wife you loved her. That's all going to be forgotten.
Yeah.
But the one thing you will remember is you will remember the exact moment that you stood up. Your parents gave you that hug, your agent gave you the hug, and you're going to walk down there, and all that hard work you've done so far to this point is going to be paid off. Quick little chat about what to expect at rookie camp, prospect camp. You'll be a drafted player. There'll be signed players there, different prospects, and they fill it in with some cannon fodder, some people that aren't drafted, that aren't signed, and those kids are there to push you so they can actually run a camp and see what their owned kids look like.
Yeah.
The reason why those free agents that show up for those prospect camps never get signed is because they sort of have a plan for their own players when they're going to come and need their contracts, and they don't want to waste extra contracts on other people for money-wise, and also because it makes their scouts look bad. They want to sign the kids that their scouts found. And unless a kid is so overwhelmingly dominant and awesome, they're not going to waste that extra contract on somebody. And I found that was tough at training camp, because my first training camp couldn't stop a puck. They kept me around because I was signed. My second training camp with the Canucks, God's gift, didn't let a goal in for 5 days. Sent me right down to Milwaukee right away. And the other goalies that were there were playing crappy, but they stayed because they have their plan. They have their marker board in the office. This is going to be who plays when. Thinking back to the last 2 years in the OHL, you came out of AAA, you got drafted to Mississauga, and you did something unheard of. Your rookie year, how many games did you play?
35, I think it was, 36.
And why do you think, as a rookie, besides the circumstance giving you that opportunity, what did you do that let you get that many games in as a 16-year-old?
I think I just had the mindset, like, I wasn't a backup on the team. Like, I was fighting for that number one spot every single day. And something, he played bad one game, I played good, and just, like, things go your way when you always, like, work hard every practice and game.
Now, that other kid, what was his name?
Alessio.
Yeah, and he's a hell of a goalie, too.
Oh, yeah.
And how would you describe your relationship with your goalie partner?
Yeah, me and Jack, we have a really good bond, really good relationship this year. Like, we clicked right from the first time I met him, and I think we bounce off each other and stuff. And like, I learned a bunch from him. He can learn some stuff from me too. And yeah, we have a great relationship.
That's good when you have that relationship, and obviously, Jer Swayman with the Bruins.
Yeah.
He's taking it to the next level. He's out hugging everybody.
Yeah.
Not saying that needs to happen, but I've always said this to kids: get along with your other goalie, because you see it sometimes where goalies don't get along on the same team, and they get jealous when the other kid's playing well, and when you're struggling, you feel bad. And karma's a real thing in hockey.
Yeah.
And if you wish your other goalie partner stinks it up, it comes back and bites you in the butt. And him doing great isn't hurting you. It's not affecting your career in any way. Support your teammates. It helps you. You get good karma, and when they support you, you feel good about yourself. And I've always believed if you can take care of your goalie partner, you're going to end up having a much longer career than a guy that's always being that stick in the mud, bugging them. So your parents have played a great role in getting you to this point where you're going to get drafted this weekend. Talk to me about what your parents mean to you.
Yeah, I mean the world to me. Like, I'll just stick to the hockey aspect of things, and like, we weren't a hockey family at all or whatever. And then when we first started putting on the pads at age 8, my dad and my mom learned everything they could about the sport and about being a goalie. And they've taught me like most of the stuff that I know today. And ever since I started playing hockey, we'd work with our parents. My dad would rent the ice, so we go out there, he'd shoot on us and teach him what he's learned throughout the week or whatever. Yeah, he's done everything for that sense. And yeah, just they've been my number one supporter through my whole career and stuff. And seeing them coming to my draft week and hopefully hearing my name and then hugging them just mean the world to me.
I've got a question for you. Which one of those two, Pops or Mama, is going to do the most crying when your name gets called?
I don't know. I think it might be my dad.
I was, you know what I was going to say that, right? I said, I think Gordo is likely going to start sniffling, get the tears going.
My mom will probably hold it in a bit longer.
I laugh because, those moments when you get drafted, and after my first regular season game I played in the NHL, I played against New Jersey Devils, and I get in the dressing room afterwards, and back then, I'm so old, they didn't have cell phones, so I called my mother up and dad, and I knew they were watching it on satellite, and I said, "Did you guys watch the game tonight?" Like, yep. And I asked my dad, "Well, what did you think?" He goes, "Hey, how about that?" And to this day, I didn't expect a parade, a party, or anything else, but he never said anything else besides, "Hey, how about that?" He was very low-key, restrained about it. I'm sure deep down they were probably pretty proud, because as you know, with every Canadian parent that's got their kid in hockey, they hope the kid plays in the NHL and would love to see it. And I think I honestly think it's going to be a bigger day for them than it is for you.
Yeah.
because it's sort of a testament to everything they've done for you. Remember anything about when I first started working with you, besides me still being able to beat you in the 3-puck game?
Honestly, I don't think there's anything bad. I love your camps, I love everything about them. I can't really think of anything bad to say. I wish I could. But
I've trained you well, because this is like an interview with the media, and maybe you have something negative and you're smart to just not say it, because I'm controlling your life with this car right now. Like this speedometer goes up to, what's this, 220 miles an hour? And you might not even make it to Las Vegas if you're negative with me. I'll just run over a deer here or something. Now, I mentioned to you about when you sign your contract, not wasting your signing bonus on a car. Let's suppose you're on your second contract, you've won a Stanley Cup, you're going to the Hall of Fame, you've got an extra $1 million laying around, and you could get any vehicle you want. And I know you're not necessarily a car guy, but if you had $1 million that didn't matter, and you can go buy any car you want, what would you get?
Honestly, I'd probably just get like a nice truck, or like a Bronco like you have, like something like that.
Smart. You can put your hockey equipment in there, at least.
Exactly.
And I always believe it's important for people that are successful, like yourself is going to be, to give back. And we've been very successful at Future Pro. We donate a lot to Canadian Cancer Society and charities and stuff. So I love the kids that I've trained that have success, get that message too, to be active in the community and give back. Did you get into any of that stuff yet in Mississauga, or was it busy? And if you get to the NHL, have you started thinking about some charities and stuff you can contribute your time, energy, your fame to?
Yeah, and like in Mississauga, we've done like a bunch of like social events and stuff, just supporting local businesses and stuff like that. But we haven't really got into anything deeper than that. And as for looking into the future, for sure, I'd be willing to donate to whatever cause that I would like to, but I haven't really thought too much into that stuff.
I got an idea for you. When you come back in your summers, you're an established NHLer. Pay it back by helping out some little goalies around your hometown. Get them out in the ice, show them how to hold the stick, how to move around the net, and all that stuff that you've learned being a goalie. Give back even on that way, because if you think about it, say you had a 10-year-old kid in your hometown and you said, you know what, Joey, come on out in the ice, we're going to do something. And that kid would listen to you like you were a god. He would take everything you're saying. And maybe that kid goes somewhere in hockey, maybe he doesn't, but he would always remember that you helped them out. So I always love to see goalies that I've coached pay it forward to little kids in your hometown. Give them some sticks if they can't afford whatever, but always be that type of guy. And I'm confident in the way Gordon and Shannon have raised you that you're going to be a role model for a lot of kids, and you're going to have a great career. I don't think you're going to be that type of kid that gets drafted and just fades away. You keep your mindset the way it needs to be. You have the potential to have a long and really successful NHL career. My name is Steve McKeekan. I played in the NHL, I coached in the NHL, and I'm going to coach and transform your game. I've coached Hall of Famers like Ed Belfour. I've coached goaltenders for over 30 years, including people like Jeremy Swayman, all the way down to Little Smurfs. I'm going to coach and transform your game with our brand new Future Pro Goaltending Masterclass. This is an elegantly curated document that brings all the information of a lifetime of knowledge from an NHL goalie coach in an easy to digest, easy to use format. Plus, you get me and our online private community through Thinkific. You get video clip support. You get the ability to post up all your highlights, problems, issues, things you're having in your game. Join Future Pro Masterclass. Join our family. A one-time fee of $99. Sign up today.